16 Candles, written and directed by John Hughes, stars Molly Ringwald as Sam, and it is her birthday, and she's all happy, and she's turning 16, and that's a big number for a lot of people. And unfortunately, her sister's getting married the next day, so the house is just in utter chaos, and her parents and everybody forget about her birthday. Oh no, do not ever forget a person, especially a teenage girl's birthday. You will regret it for the rest of your life. As she copes with this, she's also trying not to be humiliated at school. There's a guy she really likes, and she doesn't know if she could ever go out with him because she's only a sophomore and he's a senior. Oh, the boy troubles. Along with that, there's a huge house party that happens in the movie, and you know what? This movie is just straight up fun. What I love the most about this movie is John Hughes and his writing and his pacing of the movie. It's very phonetic. It's hilarious all the way through. There's not a dull moment in this movie. I enjoyed it the entire time. The characters are relatable, and this is what John Hughes is great at. He is capable of creating this world and creating lovable characters and, grasping like the ideas of the real world and putting it to screen and being like, look, you can make life funny and, all that sort of stuff. So I think he did a great job with this movie. I mean, you can take the over dramatic route of everything, like, oh my god, they forgot my birthday and everything is just going to hell, and that's always fun to see if done correctly, which I think it is here. Molly Ringwald is great in this movie. I think that she plays her part very well. I think that she's very relatable. I think that all the scenes with her being like creeped out or cringed by her grandparents after turning 16 and nobody knowing it, and then she's just like, oh, my life is completely over type stuff. I think it's funny, the over dramatic side of things. It's always, the thing with comedy is that sometimes you got to take it over, the edge. You got to kind of go over the top with some of it, otherwise sometimes it doesn't work. You can't have dry humor that's kind of serious at times, but then, dry humor isn't for everybody. This is more slapstick kind of stuff, and it's still, good to this day. I do like Anthony Michael Hall as the geek that's in this movie that kind of fawns over Sam, and, because it's just, a lot of it is like cringe, but it's also like the good kind. Like, he's a freshman and he's trying to get with the sophomore and he's trying to act cool. And we've all seen people like that where they try too hard, and it's just, becomes funny after a while. So that's the great thing about these characters, is that there's a lot of relatable characters in this. There's a lot of people that's like, I remember that guy was kind of like that from high school, and I kind of remember a situation like this, and that's great to have in a movie, that if you can kind of grasp some sort of attachment to it, then your enjoyment level can be higher, or for some people it can be lower. But for the most part, I think if you're gonna really be like, that guy reminds me of this person from long ago, and you have like a nostalgic feeling for it, I think it helps out a lot. I have to say, without a doubt, my favorite sequence in this movie is probably the party scene. I mean, it sounds, cliche to say that if you've seen this movie, but generally there's a lot of iconic images in this movie. The pizza on the turntable that just keeps going round and round and round, the soap that comes out of the vents, during this party, and it's all in good fun. I don't know what else to say. A lot of these 80 movies are just fun, and that's what I love about them. They're short, they're to the point, they don't really have to overstay their welcome, and, it's written well, it's paced well, it's just, there's nothing really wrong with the movie. It's just, this is a popcorn movie. You're sitting there to have a good time, to just watch what happens and to enjoy it. I'm gonna give 16 Candles 4 out of 5 stars. Again, this movie is just fun. I think Molly Ringwald does a great job. Obviously, all the supporting cast does a great job. There's so many iconic moments. The story is just well written. The story is executed greatly, and yeah, that's it seems kind of short, this review, and maybe it is, but I mean, really, sometimes reviews are just kind of like, hard to do on certain movies. Like, if I'm just sitting there like through, I didn't take a lot of notes on this movie only because I was just having a good time. I was just watching it, I was laughing. There wasn't really anything that stood out all the time to me, other than just like, it's just an overflowing of like, wow, this movie is got great humor, and while the characters are good, and da 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 da. So there's not much to say on the movie, and plus it came out in what, 1984. So I mean, if you haven't seen it, I'd say go see it. And I mean, if you know, I know a lot of people think this movie didn't age well with a lot of its jokes. I don't really agree with that. I think a lot of the movie does well with what it's supposed to do. I can suspend my disbelief better than most, I guess, but either way, I think this movie's great. Thank you guys so much for watching, and here's a little bit of an announcement for you. Spider-Man No Way Home, I want to say it's called. The new Spider-Man movie for the MCU comes out at the December. I think around mid-December, right before Christmas. I will be reviewing every Spider-Man movie. Messed that line up a little bit, but we're going to go with it. So we're going to review all the Sam Raimi movies, the trilogy. We're going to review the 2 Amazing Spider-Man movies, and then we're going to also review the 2 MCU Spider-Man movies leading up to the release date of this new MCU Spider-Man.